So today we're talking about no thinker, the end of suffering. What do we know about reality? Reality is filtered through the mind, our perception constrained by the data received to us by our senses. Our senses only pick up data relevant to our survival, which is a necessary and skillful evolutionary adaptation. Since this data is geared towards survival purposes, the truth value of this data is inherently limited and cannot reveal the nature of reality to us. We need to go deeper and look at the mechanism that appears to be filtering this data, the mind. So our mind only ever gives us a slice of reality, determined first by the human conditioning, the animal conditioning of only seeing certain wavelengths of light and only hearing certain frequencies of sounds. This is tuned to just a human being, and then once again conditioned by the mind itself after this data has been pulled in. So there's layers upon layers of conditioning. It's not possible to use the data gained by the senses to reveal the nature of reality. The truth value of this data is inherently limited. So it makes more sense to look at the mechanism that is filtering the data, which is the mind. All of experience contains only two things: thought, be it imagistic or linguistic, and sensation. There's many parts of experience: there's colors, shapes, sounds, types of sensations that reoccur, there's intensity of sensations, but all of our experience only ever contains thought, the mind, and sensation, the body. It could even be said that even the sensation that we say appears in the body appears in the mind. But in this case, to keep it simple at this stage, we can break experience down into thought, be it imagistic or linguistic, and sensation. When we look into experience, when we look into the experience of reality, we can try and look deeply into what we at this point know to be true. So if we throw everything away, all beliefs, all ideas, what people have told us, things we've watched, everything we've read, all words, all concepts, if we had never met another person, heard any other words, or read anything else, there would seem to be two facts that are undeniable to us. One, there seems to be a bare feeling of existence. That whatever we are, we exist. To even doubt existence seems to take existence. So there seems to be the feeling of existence. Two, there seems to be thoughts and sensations arising on behalf of a thinker of thoughts. So there seems to be thoughts that arise, but there also seems to be someone that is thinking them. It seems to be coming from someone that is an entity that has a personality that then thinks thoughts based on what happens in reality. So there seems to be the sensation of being, and then the sense that there's a thinker thinking thoughts. These two things seem to be undeniable in our experience. So we need to look closer at these two things. If we look close enough, again and again and again and again, we can see that this thinker of thoughts that is creating this thought cannot be found anywhere. No matter how hard we look, there's nothing there. There's just more thought. It seems to be through repeated investigation that everything that we can see, so everything that we see that apparently comes from this thinker, he is not there. The one that everything seems to be predicated on is an illusion. If we pay attention closely, we can see that this thinker of thought, that the sense of being, sometimes called I am, or the sense of existence are actually the same thing. So if the thinker of thought is an illusion, the sense of being must be one too. Now I'm going over this quite fast, but it's not as if you go through this intellectual process. Okay, this happens and this happens, so this can't be true and this must be true. These are insights and realizations that occur to you as you traverse the landscape of your mind. Reading this seems crazy. Saying that there is no thinker of thoughts seems insane. Because it feels like there is one. It feels like there is a thing here, walking around, saying things, doing things, having thoughts, experiencing emotions, feels pain, sometimes laughs, sometimes cries. That seems to be undeniable. But if we throw away what things seem to be and look closely at how things are again and again and again, and start to pull back the layers of the mind, then these insights of the lack of a thinker, the insight of even I am being an illusion, reveals itself. The sense of being is the root illusion, the illusion that all other illusions are predicated on. The sense of being, or I am, is taken to be a halfway point, because at the very least you can divest yourself of all other ego identities and then sit with the purest, the one that seems the most pure. But even this, because it appears in your experience as a seeming center or an I that is thinking thoughts, doing things, if looked upon closely, it can be seen to be unreal. It can be seen to be an illusion. It's only apparently happening. So if we divest the mind of the belief that there is a thinker thinking thoughts, it will eventually stop interpreting sense data as being, I am a center, and everything will just be seen to be happening as a process, something that's just happening. The center drops away when the belief that there's a thinker thinking thoughts no longer exists. How is this done? How can we go beyond the illusion of the thinker? You can divest your mind of the illusion of the thinker by continually looking for this thinker of thoughts. Just like all illusions, no matter how real they seem, if you keep looking for the truth behind it, it will reveal itself. Continually not finding this thinker will eventually lead to a crucial insight, the insight of emptiness, of there being no core, no identity, no isness to any phenomena in experience. When you realize there is no thinker of thoughts, there is a realization that hits that this body-mind unit that apparently had this thinker, this center, thinking these thoughts, doing these things, that had agency, doesn't actually exist. And you look everywhere else in existence and you see they also don't have any inherent core or isness or center that is controlling things. You look around and see all of this is empty, that all of experience lacks identity of any kind, any core, any isness. This includes the self. Once again, this insight will lead to a realization that even this I am being, that is the halfway point, is empty, so there cannot possibly be a thinker of thoughts, a self. This is simply emptiness extended to self. This brings the understanding that there is no one anywhere doing anything. Everything is just happening as a process. Awakening. Awakening is when the sense of being a thinker goes away. The sense impressions obviously remain, but are no longer interpreted as a thinker thinking thought with these senses. There's just sensing. There's no thought about myself, who is the thinker of thoughts. Is that illusion has been properly seen through by the mind. All suffering is the resistance to what is. So this resistance is born from the illusion that there is a self that exists and that can control. All of reality bears the three marks of existence. The three marks of existence are impermanence. Everything's always changing. Because of that, it cannot be controlled. So there's no selves to control anything. And because of that, it's unsatisfactory. So the resistance is born from the illusion that there is a self that exists that can control things. But if the belief in the self of the thinker of thoughts, and even the I am being the halfway point, is fully let go, then everything is just seen to be happening. There's no longer resistance. When there is no resistance, there is no suffering. Unconditioned peace is simply the knowing that the sense of existence, the I am, the feeling of being, is another sense impression, not a center. That everything is empty, and that resting in that knowing is anatta, or not self. Just simply emptiness extended to self. This is unconditioned peace, just remaining empty. Bliss or peace is the experience of remaining empty in the knowledge that all the sense impressions and anything that can appear in your experience is not you, but you are all things. When you rest in the knowing of the illusion of thinker of thoughts, you can wash your mind of it. When you see this feeling of a thinker come up and you inquire as to where its location is, the mind is slowly divested of this belief that there is a thinker behind thought. In the end, simply remaining empty, knowing all is empty and happening without a self, remaining empty of identity because there actually is none, will lead to the greatest, truest happiness and unconditioned peace.